Now, Susie, you mentioned that you've come from a different background. You worked in the corporate space, you worked in technology, and you've had to shift from kind of that corporate mindset to a small business owner, someone who is now looking at corporate marketing to marketing your own brand, marketing yourself, marketing your small business. I'd love to know, what is one shift that you personally had to navigate making that transition? And what can you offer to other women in this room that are making that shift as well?
It was so hard. I don't know how many other folks left corporate and suddenly had to come out and start talking about themselves. So I spent a lot of time on that messaging at my company. And it was the company's voice, it was the company's style, and it was the company's message. And it was great. I was good at it, right? It was awesome. And then suddenly the company wasn't there anymore. Social media was new when I was working in corporate. I never posted my own thoughts and feelings about the world because everything I said was going to reflect back on my company. How were they going to look at this, right? I was working for somebody else. It was their brand. I came out and suddenly said, I am my brand. I can talk about anything I want to talk about because I am my brand. It was scarier than heck. I hated it. I didn't want to talk about myself. I didn't want to sell myself. I didn't want to market myself. It was really intimidating. And so that was my biggest kind of hurdle as I came into this, right? I had to worry about my skills. I had those. I had to worry about my pricing. I figured that out. But talking about me and putting myself out there was a huge mental shift for me. And I wrote a blog post for the Sunnyvale Chamber of Commerce all about my own experience going to get photos taken of myself and how terrifying it was and how important it was to get those photos to tell my story. And I was talking about it and I was using my voice and it was great and it felt good. And then I got to my about me. And I switched into, Susie McFadden is an internationally published award-winning photographer who blah, blah, blah. And the folks who reviewed it for me said, that's great, but it didn't sound like you as soon as you started talking about yourself. That was the most boring about me I've ever read. So I rewrote it, and I talked about me, I talked about my values, what I find important, the fact that I still bite my nails, and I like big jewelry, and all of those things. And I had the photos to support it. I don't know if you all remember this, but when Facebook and social media first started, we all had our profile photos that had somebody's weird hand on our shoulder because we cut somebody out of the photo, because that's when we're our most natural. That's when we're comfortable. We feel great. We're with our friends. We're with our loved ones. And then you come into a photo studio and suddenly, you're an awkward adolescent again. What do I do with my hands? How do I sit? What kind of smile do I want? And that's where I come in. It's we talk, we chat, we do all of those wonderful things to talk about what your brand is. Some of my favorite brand photos of me, I'm in overalls. Shout out to the Jetty Wave ladies. I love overalls. I'm creating photos where my clients look their best. Many of them are in suits, business wear, and I am running around in overalls, a tank top, and I'm barefoot, right? It's not about me. That's my brand. The big clunky glasses are my brand. My politics are my brand, right? I want people to know who they're coming to see and that I offer a safe, inclusive space for them to get their photos taken, that it's a no judgment zone. Right? All of those things that I couldn't do when I was in corporate are suddenly front and center to say, this is who I am and this is who you're going to work with. And might I lose somebody who reads some of my values and politics and says, ooh, great, bye-bye. Go with grace. You will find somebody that you connect with more. And that to me is what is so much fun about being a small business and being a solopreneur. It's embracing who you are. And I love working with my clients to put a face to that so that when you go out and make your social media posts about you and get all of that traction and people say, this person is awesome, and oh, by the way, they also do this. And that's where the connections happen.